FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Pad FM in Dalmango, Amanuva FM in Aflao, and Kekeli Radio in Ho. You can also listen live on your digital apps. That's the Spotify and myjoyonline.com app. In this edition, company at the center of the Apieti blast, which killed 13 and raised the entire community to the ground, fined $6 million. We have details as government sets 14 conditions for restoration of Maxim's license. Asin North MP James Jachikwe is accused of ordering his bodyguard to throw out a court official who had attempted to give him some documents. We have details as the Supreme Court directs the Chief Justice his petition for appropriate investigations to take place. Also this afternoon, experts predicting a grimmer outlook for Ghana's economy should the proper sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill be passed by Parliament.
The resultant indirect cost to the economy as a result of possible diplomatic tension, reduced or delayed grants, and reputational damage, mostly from the West, where Ghana has significant dependence, will be huge.
We then head to Parliament, where Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Klute Aveji, is upset over the Health Minister's continuous disregard for the committee.
The Minister of Health doesn't respect this committee. You have spent public money, come and account for it. Your name appeared in the report of the Auditor General, which means that there's something wrong. You don't respect the committee, they invite you, you do other things. It's not nice.
Also, Roads Minister makes strong case for road contractors to support the e-levy.
If e-levy comes, we get our fair share into the road sector. Within a very short time, all outstanding contractors' debts will be paid.
We have sports.
CAF and FIFA unhappy with Ghana for allegedly interfering in the activities of the Ghana Football Association. This according to former Communications Director Ibrahim Sanidara. We have details in 20 minutes.
We have that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Many thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay for details. Many thanks for your company once again in our very first story for this afternoon. The company at the center of the Apieti blast, which killed 14 and flattened the entire community last month, has been told to pay $6 million for the damage. The explosion occurred as a truck carrying explosives to a gold mine crashed with a motorcycle, according to a police account. The company, which owned the truck, Maxim, will have to immediately pay $1 million of the $6 million fine in addition to some 14 conditions before its license is restored. Head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, is here with details of a statement issued by the Lands Ministry this morning. Raymond, first, what are the details of the fine?
So first, we understand, of course, you said it right, that the $6 million fine for regulatory breaches regarding the manufacture, storage and transportation of explosives for mining and other civil works can be divided into two. The $1 million on its equivalent, which shall be the city equivalent, paid at the prevailing commercial rate before the restoration of the permit to manufacture, store, supply, or transport explosives. So before the conversation even begins, you have to pay the $1 million. The other $5 million will be divided into 18 equal monthly installments from the 1st of March to the 1st of August 2023. Now, there are also specific clear-cut rules that ought to be complied with before they go into. You mentioned the 14, but it made a point which is also important. The imposition of the fine and the agreed sum to be paid is without prejudice to any criminal or civil liability Mazam may be subjected to. Because that's a question that people are asking, whether this is the end of the matter. So that's the detail on the fine. $1 million paid immediately, then installment payment of $5 million, which is within 18 months.
18 months, okay. So there's some prescription about some strict compliance rules as well. What are they?
The 14 are pretty clear. First, the law is clear on how cars like this should be functioning, but Mazam shall not transport explosives on a public road unless notice of the transportation has been given to the Chief Inspector of Mines of the regional or the regional mines inspector. At least this is 48 hours before the scheduled transportation. There's more than just that. The truck and what it should be like matters here. For example, the truck should have also what they call it, the other trucks coming along with it. The escorts. It insists that the escort should be two of them anyway.
Well, Raymond, thank you very much for the details there. Thankfully, we've been joined on the phone by the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Mr. George Mrikuduka. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News set. So, just for clarity, by this fine imposed on Maxim, does it mean they are responsible for what happened that day?
Let me say a good afternoon to your cherished viewers. Thanks for having me on your show. I believe when the incident happened, the minister responsible for natural resources has shown lots of leadership. So he formed committees to come up with
Mr. Duka, sorry to cut in, but you'd have to reposition yourself. We seem to be losing you along the line. Please.
Can you hear me now, please?
Much, much better, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes. So, as I said, the minister has shown leadership in this. He formed committees to look into how it happened and the way forward and so on. And as you rightly indicated earlier, we've outlined measures that all explosives handling companies must follow going forward. And as part of that, we have the escort vehicles must have a red flashing light clearly visible at least 50 meters away, and a klaxon or a siren or a hooter or automatically operated bell also in there. We outline measures, but in that, looking at the totality of the conditions leading to this tragic incident, the minister has imposed an administrative fine of CD equivalent of $1 million United States dollars.
Well, that is clear, but the question I was asking is that by this fine that has been imposed, does it mean that Maxam is responsible for what happened?
That report has been laid before the minister, and at the appropriate time, he will outline the details of the report.
But then how do we announce a fine on Maxam when we don't even know the details of the report and how responsible they are for what happened?
So it is clear that they have been implicated in one or two conditions.
In which conditions? Which are these one or two conditions?
That will be made clear, by when the report is read.
But the concern about the ministry imposing the fine instead of the regulator is also an issue that people have raised. What exactly is the role of the regulator in all this, and why is the ministry, the outfit, imposing this fine?
If you look at Sector 3, the regulator works under the ministry. They report to the minister, and the minister is responsible for the sector, and the regulator is directly in, under the. So they advise them that the minister, carries all the measures that will be,
Mr. Duka, once again, you have to reposition yourself. And while at it, I want to find out how you arrived at these figures. Is it an estimation of the damage caused by the explosion, or what exactly is it?
I think it's stated in the state that we're looking at the totality of the condition, and that is why this has been slapped.
And by this, can we safely say that the investigation is complete?
Investigation, yes, the first part, we are done with the first part. The report has been submitted. The minister is going, and the second one is underway, where being led by the revered professor, Professor Antwi, the Vice Chancellor of Paragon University of Mines.
And we don't know when this report will be made available to the public.
They have been given a month to complete entirely. With the one that was submitted to the minister has indicated on several platforms that he will, come up with the details of the report.
And what do we intend to do with the 6 million? You're supposed to pay 1 million upfront, and then you're spreading it over 18 months for them up to 2023. What do we intend to do with the 6 million?
They are paying or making the payment to the regulator, and the regulator, as part of it, will utilize that to be the condition of the people of Ghana.
We're grateful. Mr. George Mirkuduka, that's the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister there, giving us details about that imposition of the fine on Maxam on the role they played in that explosion at a PAT that led to the death of 14 persons. I'll take you to the court shortly, where the Asin North MP James Jachikwesing has been accused of ordering his bodyguard to throw out a court official who attempted to give him some documents. We have details as the Supreme Court directs that the Chief Justice's petition for appropriate investigations to take place. But first, this afternoon, experts are predicting a grimmer outlook for Ghana's economy should the Proper Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill be passed by Parliament. The controversial bill, which is seeking to criminalize the activities of homosexuals and ban any form of advocacy on it, has been greeted by rigorous debates with public opinions split. Parliament's Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee suspended consideration of a memoranda in 2021. But even before the committee resumes its public hearings, a study conducted by CDD Ghana has found that passage of the bill will throw government's economic agenda out of gear. We can hear from Executive Director of ISODEC, Bernard Anaba, presenting the findings of the study at a CDD roundtable.
Economic position and heavy reliance on external financing and grants particularly exposes Ghana to considerable economic impact if diplomatic tensions lead to reduced interest in Ghana. The resultant indirect cost to the economy as a result of possible diplomatic tension, reduced or delayed grants, and reputational damage, mostly from the West, where Ghana has significant dependence, will be huge. Human rights is a dominant pillar in the foundations of the UN system, and Ghana is unlikely to withstand the economic and diplomatic pressure that will result from this bill. We have invariably imposed on ourselves an additional layer of possible economic conditionality and a loss of leverage in international circles. So by this bill, we have added an additional conditionality on ourselves when we go out to seek for support. This will always be part of the menu or the agenda. And you have to skill this before you get what you want. And that we have put on ourselves. Ghana's budget regularly relies on grants of about 4 to 6% each year from donor partners. They and the international community are mostly against this bill, as we know, but some of them have been mentioned in the bill. This could result in the delays and reduction in this budgetary support. So we rely on these donor partners for just our budget, 4 to 6%. Almost every year they have to give us that money. I remember there was a year that the finance minister was complaining that the budget did not work well because these funds delayed. So now there's a more reason why it even delay more. So you can imagine the economic impact. 4 to 6% of your budget is huge, very huge. The relatively weaker economic position of Ghana makes it more vulnerable to any rebuke of the EU and other Western governments that do not support the bill and have categorically been antagonized in this bill. So China have a problem in part of this region. I forgot.
That's the Executive Director of ISODEC, Bernard Anaba there. My colleague Manuel Kranting is at that roundtable. He joins us with details. Manuel, so what reasons does the study cite in defending this prediction?
Well, so MFR, the study set out to establish whether the bill would be a source of conflict or social disorder, with an assumption that any source of conflict will significantly impact the economy. Now, at the end, they found that there are 3 major sources of conflict. They made mention of the legal conflict with reference to Ghana's 1992 constitution and other, international pacts that the country has actually ratified, being put face-to-face to the dictate of this particular bill, which is currently before Parliament. It also makes reference to the personalities involved and saying that these personalities are creating a huge conflict. For instance, the study made reference to past presidents who have, quite openly shown their disapproval for the activities of LGBT plus individuals, including the current president, Akufo-Addo, who has said that he is not going to oversee the legalization of gay marriages in Ghana. And then again, the international community makes reference to the EU, and even here in Ghana talks about the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, all of which seem to be at variance with each other. And the study finds that this personality class could be detrimental, really, in terms of decision making towards economic advancement in the country. And also talks about characterization of the personalities involved, MFA.
That's my colleague Manuel Cranting from that CDD roundtable. Now, off to the Supreme Court, where a bailiff tasked to give court documents to MP, Asin North MP James Chekwesin says he was thrown out of the legislator's office by a bodyguard. This was reviewed by Supreme Court Registrar Matthew Antiaye, who was asked to brief the court on the matter. Court officials at the Supreme Court and prosecutors at the High Court have on separate occasions pointed out their inability to find the MP to hand him court processes. Ekipko's High Court in July 2021 ruled that Mr. Kwesen was not eligible to contest the 2020 polls as he held dual citizenship. Mr. Kwesen has since been fighting to set this aside, with the matter currently pending at the Court of Appeal. There is a case at the Supreme Court seeking to stop him from performing parliamentary duties, while another is filed at the High Court accusing him of forgery. Court correspondent Joseph Akable has all the lowdown on this. He joins us on the line with more. Joseph, tell us more about this court issue and the bailiff being thrown out by the bodyguard.
And so, according to the registrar who was called upon to read to the court the report that was submitted by the bailiff, specifically on the 1st of February, it says the bailiff went to the MP's office in Parliament and on arrival met the MP and introduced himself to the MP that he was a court bailiff who had been asked to bring in some court documents. We are told that the MP at that point said he was not going to take the documents and then asked his personal assistant to ensure that the bailiff leaves the office. The bailiff said, according to the registrar, insisted that he was going to give the documents to the MP. It was at that point that we are told that the MP invited the bodyguard to remove the bailiff from the court premises. We are told that the bailiff was then thrown out by this bodyguard. And so that is by way of that particular allegation of assault as the Supreme Court has said that took place at the MP's office.
So we understand the Chief Justice is to investigate this matter?
Yes, according to President of the panel, Justice Jones Doche, he said the registrar should write formally to the Chief Justice attaching the report of the bailiff to it for the necessary investigations to take place with regards to this alleged assault that has taken place.
So it also emerged that there were attempts to serve the MP at his private residence.
Yes, the court now used its own officials at the Cape Coast High Court. The registrar was tasked to go over to the MP's residence in the constituency. According to the registrar, again, he said on arrival, a caretaker at the residence told him that the MP had traveled and they could not tell when exactly he will be returning. And so that also proved unsuccessful.
So as it stands now, the Asin North MP has still not been served any of the court processes?
That is so. And what the court says is going to do, it says it's adjourned proceedings to March 1. In between now and March 1, they are unable to serve the processes. According to Frank Davies, who represents Mike Nimfa, who is behind this particular action, they may consider filing for substituted service to ensure that they use other means, could be electronic or announcements or publications in the dailies, to ensure that they bring this particular proceedings to the attention of the MP. There's another interesting aspect of it. Renowned legal practitioner Chachi Kata had attempted to speak to the court in this particular matter as a friend of the court, but he was not permitted to speak on it. The court said the matters that it was dealing with, it was sufficiently abreast with the facts and the law of it to deal with this and did not need his intervention on this particular matter.
Well, Joseph, the substantive issue at the Supreme Court, where they are seeking to block the MP for performing parliamentary duties. Tell us a bit more about it. But whilst at it, was the Asin North MP in court?
He was not present in court at all. It's interesting to note that his legal team is actually present in court today. He was represented by one Emmanuel Adai. But by way of the action that they are seeking to undertake here, they intend to injunct the MP from performing parliamentary duties. And so the court deems it appropriate that it is brought to its attention. So for now, in terms of its records, it is treating it as though the MP is not aware of this particular action that is taking place. And that is how come the lawyers are also trying to go through the appropriate procedure to ensure that they bring it to its attention. So that is by way of this particular action that is against the MP.
That's court correspondent Joseph Akable there. He has more of the story on myjoyonline.com. Let's head to Parliament at this point. And the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Kluti-Aveji, is upset over the health minister's continuous disregard for the committee. According to the chairman, the health minister, Kweku Agyemang-Menu, has refused to appear before them in spite of the committee's invitation to him. Mr. Aveji says the conduct of the health minister will be tabled before the House for sanctions.
Not this committee. The previous committee started work in 2017 to 2020. And this committee started from 2021 to this year. He appeared before this committee only once. He was the chairman, the former chairman of this committee. He was the one who had been inviting people, and when people don't come, he did not take it lightly. Now he himself is doing exactly what he was against. So we are going to report on that to the plenary. So clerk, take note that the Minister of Health doesn't respect this committee.
Well, parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson has been sitting through that committee hearing. He joins us on the line. Kwesi, have we heard in any way or form from the health minister on why he's been absent?
Not yet. We haven't yet gotten any information from the health minister as to why he's been absent. None of his deputies are also present here. We are now trying to check why the minister failed to appear before the committee. But if you come to the committee, a number of issues have come up, particularly with part-time nursing and midwifery, where a former teacher, the chairman, actually directed Interpol to issue a red alert on the former teacher of the school who went on a steady leave and was still drawing salaries, in fact, to a tune of about 70,000 Ghana cedis. The school authority says they are unable to track the woman. And so the chairman of the committee, James Kluti-Aveji, has asked the Interpol to ensure that they track the woman and refund the money to the state.
Well, we'll find out more on that. But Paka, you're keeping your eyes on parliamentary sit-ins today as well. What are we looking at?
Well, so today a number of ministers have been scheduled before the House to answer some questions. And so very soon they will be doing that. And then whatever that happens, we'll bring our listeners the update.
That's a parliamentary correspondent, Kwesi Parker-Wilson. They are reporting from the Public Accounts Committee, and then later parliamentary proceedings for today. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, and we've been telling you about the company at the center of the Apieti blast, which killed 14 and razed the entire community to the ground. They've been fined $6 million. They're expected to pay $1 million upfront, and the rest spread over 18 months up to 2023. We've been bringing you details and hearing from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Also, Asin North MP James Jeche-Kwesing has been accused of ordering his bodyguard to throw out a court official who had attempted to give him some document. The Supreme Court has directed the Chief Justice to petition for appropriate investigations to take place. When we return from the break, we have sports, and then also we'll hear from the Roads Minister, who is making a strong case for road contractors to support the e-levy.
If e-levy comes, we get our fair share into the road sector within a very short time. All outstanding contractors' debts will be paid.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports.
Former Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association, Ibrahim Sanidara, claims CAF and FIFA are unhappy with Ghana following reports that government is interfering in the management of the Ghana Football Association.
They are not happy about what they are saying, but because Ghana has just come out from normalization, they don't want to come in hard. They want to take things slowly so things can be, solved internally. And thankfully, the Ghana FA has not reported anything to them. They've just heard it by media reports. And I hope that, we do things quietly. There are lots of things we can do, not necessarily playing it out in the media.
That is Ibrahim Sanidara, former Communications Director of the Ghana FA.
How the backroom conversations affect you. It's time for our Drive Safe campaign.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
And a driver's mate has been confirmed dead after an articulated truck loaded with bags of rice ran into another truck loaded with cement on the Kumasi-Accra highway. Wahid Tahiru, who is 25, we're told, died on the spot. My colleague Ohiming Terry has been at the scene. He's been interacting with the police.
The accident occurred at exactly 5 a.m. involving two vehicles moving towards Kumasi direction. Articulated truck loaded with rice, and then another articulated truck loaded with cement. But the cement truck was in front. It was ahead of the rice truck. So when they got to this very stretch, the cement truck wanted to negotiate to the other side to offload some of the cement. Per the information I have, the driver mate came down to stop oncoming vehicles, not knowing there was another truck which was carrying the rice, speeding. And then all of a sudden, hit the rear portion of the cement truck. The driver to the rice vehicle got injured and is currently at Jusu Government Hospital. The driver mate died at the spot.
Well, Ohiming Teria joins us on the line. Ohiming, we're told that this particular accident caused a lot of traffic. What's the update now?
Yes, MFA, the Ejoso Kumasi road of the main Kumasi-Accra road was blocked to traffic, making it impossible for motorists to use the only one side of the road. But as we speak now, with the support of the police, the accident vehicles have been cleared on the road, meaning that there's a free flow of traffic now. The Ejoso MTTD commander says his men will continue to be stationed on the portion to ensure a free flow of traffic.
This road is asphalted and at the same time a highway. So normally the drivers take advantage of that and overspeed. So somewhere last year, I wrote to the highway authority to construct a ramble hump here to slow the drivers to the desired speed. But as I speak, I've not seen anything. And you know, this place too is accident-prone zone. So I think that's the only thing which can help to slow the drivers to the desired speed. Immediately the accident occurred, I deployed my men at all the intersections. As you can see, they are still directing traffic. I also called for towing car from Oforikrum. Unfortunately, when it was coming, it got spoiled on the way. So I had to call another towing truck from Swami. So it has towed the car away and there is free traffic. Still, the personnel will be here directing traffic to ensure that there is a free flow of traffic before they leave the scene.
That's the MTTD commander there interacting with my colleague Ohiming Terry. I will stay a while longer on the road, and there's a continuous push for the acceptance of the e-levy, this time by the roads minister, Kwesi Amoakwata. He's told contractors in the country, many of whom have not been paid for years, that the passage and implementation of the e-levy will ensure they are paid their arrears.
The more government tries to pay, the more you also work, and the debt is always there. If e-levy comes, we get our fair share into the road sector within a very short time. All outstanding contractors' debts will be paid, and you can work more for this country. You can work more for this country, and we expect you to speak. You are going to be the direct beneficiaries, and every serious government will not joke with contractors, because the construction industry is where, from the unskilled to the skilled, people are employed. If you want money to circulate very well in your country, pay contractors. We are bringing in a levy that unknowingly all of us, those of us who are in, by the grace of God, certain situations, certain category, will help to contribute to build a fund to support infrastructure generally, especially road infrastructure. Look at the hue and cry that is going on.
Well, we'll talk more about the e-levy because some celebrities have been talking about it. But just in case you've been wondering what has become of these abandoned road tolls, booths, amongst others, the roads minister has a solution.
We are going to take them out, and we have alternative use for all the 38 or so toll booth centers across the country. And we have come out with a lot of suggestions. We even want to furbish all those toll booth structures to provide proper and decent washrooms, for instance, for the use by motorists.
That's the Roads Minister, Kweku Kwesiamuakwata, there on what these abandoned toll booths will be used for. Well, let's hear from some celebrities in this country. Besa Simons and Jiduble Ambuli.
It's just because we earn a lot of...
There hasn't been any debate because I've been asking people, what do you understand about the EE levy? You say, oh, I don't know, but I don't want to pay any tax. Who wants to pay any tax? There needs to be a conversation.
People need to pay if they are scheduled when you want to take it. Man, they got to trash it.
And that's how we end today's edition of the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM, also on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We're also live on Facebook and myjoyonline.com. Speak of myjoyonline.com, stories making the headlines. Asin North MP ordered his bodyguards to throw me out of his office. Bailiff tells Supreme Court. Maxam Ghana Limited fined $6 million over Apieti explosion. Abandoned toll booths to be converted into washrooms. Roads Minister. That's and more on myjoyonline.com. I am MFA.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Higher total gross profit for the fiscal year.
Nana, who's not land you? He did the port right.
Here are your items. Thank you for coming.
Yes, 2 for 10 cedi. Me no 10 cedi. 2 for 10 cedi.
Wajad you know ebetimi akodani. And for who business away. The beera will be. You hasi ebe wow. MTN Business meant to enable your business stay ahead of the pack. Jushayen. Ewo mtnbusiness.gh at mtn.com. Fre ana wasapiyen. Ewo 0244 308 111. Na yichire wumu. MTN. Everywhere you go.
Charlie, you know say DSTV they do something give you anytime you upgrade your DSTV package. From DSTV family to compact, DSTV go carry you go compact plus straight. It means say more series, more movies, more fun. Wow! Bro, so upgrading from compact to compact plus they mean say you will get a step up straight to premium. That be front row seat for your favorite football teams live. Bro, make you sign me up. Make you step up to the next level on us. Upgrade your current DSTV package and we go step you up to the next highest package at no extra cost. DSTV, it's your moment.
No matter how your day is going, isn't it comforting to know that there's a place where you can relax and kick off your stress? The Cosmopolitan Mix on Joy FM with Doreen Nando has it all. Education, inspiration, entertainment, celebrity interviews. What's up, man?
I'm good.
Some way,
It's on way, B. Thank God it's Friday.
Best variety of local favorites.
Good morning.
All on your favorite brunch time mix. Weekdays 10 a.m. till noon. Joy 99.7 FM on your dial, online, and on all our social media handles. #Cosmopitch for your favorite show and relive all those moments. Joy 99.7 FM. Radio for discerning listeners. Cosmopolitan Mix is powered by Joy Entertainment.
When it's 3 p.m. every weekday and you want something refreshing to listen to, which radio show do you listen to?
For me, when it comes to drive time, it's my lesson. With you, drive time is always the best. Hearing from you every single afternoon, and you're doing a great job.
My name is Lexus Bill, and I bring you the best late afternoon radio show in Ghana. Drive